everyone, my name is Tangwin. I'm 10 years old. Today I'll share you about 7 exciting events that happened before the 200. So the 200 was for the next century. So now everything in the universe is in a constant, quite predictable motion. Some very complicated can help us math. Very complicated math can help us predict what the night sky look like. Like in hundred of how does the night sky look like in 100 of years? That's why astronomers make up the entire calendars of usual festival events. So let's find out more about the most interesting astronomical event that we're waiting for us for the next 100 years. So in 2029, an astronaut named Apophis. So in 2029, there will be an astronaut named Apophis. Our solar system is full of various astronauts, from small pebbles to big giant mountains like boulders, and many of them are alarming close to us. In 2019, one of these astronauts is supposed to fly past us called 9942 Apophis. So the astronaut is quite large and has a diameter of about 1,200 feet. NASA discovered it back in 2004, so it had been discovered from a long time ago, and it was considered one of the most dangerous objects orbiting the sun. That's because on April 13 in 2029, it will be just a few steps away from colliding with Earth. Even the name of this astronaut is quite frightening. Apophis is the name of the ancient Egyptian deity of chaos and destruction, a giant serpent that embodied chaos and was the appointment of raw and light. What symbolism? But don't worry, scientists say that the astronaut, despite such alarming prosody, the astronaut won't actually hit us. It flew about 20,000 miles away from Earth. Yeah, it's closer to us than the Moon and even some NASA satellites. But fortunately, it still makes the event itself will be a quite beautiful Apophis. Will be invisible in the sky even with a telescope and for reason for you. So this Apophis will be on the night sky, and you don't really need a telescope that what you use to look at the night sky better. So it was so bright and so big that you don't need to have a telescope. You just saw that you could see a very sparkle up there. It doesn't even need a telescope. It was too bright and too big. So don't worry if you miss it, because on 2068 it will be there again, and it will be closer to Earth. So 2029 also have the darkest lunar eclipse of the century. Now a lunar eclipse occurs when the moon is completely in Earth's shadow. Maybe example, I am the Earth. No, here. This is the Earth. And I am the moon. The moon doesn't really go around us like the Earth goes around the sun. It's go like an oval. So if I am the moon and then I go around the Earth, if I face with the Earth, I face the Earth's shadow hide me. So that's when there's an eclipse. So sometimes this happens in our natural satellite. Seeing bright red, it seems to red, it seems like it has blood in it, but don't be scared, don't worry, it's simply because red rays penetrate our atmosphere easier. Such eclipse, unlike solar one, occur quite often, usually the closer the moon is to the center of the shadow, the darker the eclipse is, and according to scientists, on July 26, 2029 again, we'll see one of the darkest eclipses in the last 100 years. The eclipse itself will last approximately 1 hour and 42 minutes. So it has been a century. A century is 100 years. So it has been 100 years from the last time people have seen a moon eclipse. Earth's shadow touches the moon until the solar eclipse. It will last about 3 hours and 40 minutes. So the moon will be having the eclipse for 1 hour and 42 minutes, but for it to get go of the shadow of the earth, it will take 3 hours 40 minutes. The event will be best seen in South America. So book your ticket now. And also in 2040, the period of planets. So in the 2040s, there will be a pair of planets. So you know a pair, people go behind each other and they stand like this. So that was a march. So a pair of people will go around like they go like in shape in line, and they go around the town. So all planet will be paired too. It doesn't really have a straight line, but it's all kind of look like of that. But it still be a quite impressive view. Some planets like Jupiter and Venus can be clearly visible even in big cities. So because Jupiter is big and Venus is near us, so when we sit at home, we can see two of these planets. But during the period of planets, especially if you go out of town where it's darker, because the town it had a lot of light, so it would be like it wasn't darker. So you will be able to absorb all of them according to the NASA. The next parade is going to happen on September 8th, 2040. So start up on telescope. So when 2040s, there will be a parade of planets like it's shaped in lines. And then we on Earth could say that the moon was the center. The moon was the center, and it will shape line and line. It doesn't really line like this. It will be like this. But there's still a line. We can see it perfectly. But if we go in the dark place, we will see it clearer, because in the town people have lights, so it won't be see clearer, because there's some tall buildings have light too. So some tall buildings have light, so it could look like a star, and a star was light up high in the sky, and the building was up high in the sky too. So when you go to the darker place, you could see them easier. So in the 2952, the brightest supermoon of the 21st century. So 21st century is our century. So for the next century, from the 200 go on, there will be the 22nd century. So now the moon orbit isn't exactly perfectly around our natural satellite, travel around Earth following an elliptical orbit. Because of this, there are 2 points, the closest to Earth and the farthest. The farthest close point is called the apogee, and the closest was the perigee. However, since everything in space is a bit unstable, some perigees may be close to us than others. Yes, all these orbital changes are quite confusing. Even then, scientists can sometimes find it difficult to predict them accurately. 1 minute. So when the full moon is especially close to Earth, we get the so-called supermoon. So if the moon was close to the Earth, you can see that it was big, but when it was far, it was really small. And when I am far from you, you can see that I am really small, but when I'm close to you, you can see that I'm really big. So the supermoon is when the moon had its stop at the perigee. So that was the closest part to the Earth. So you can see like the supermoon. So the name for this event was introduced in 1979. At this moment, the moon seemed very big to us, just like in other unrealistic sci-fi movies and cartoons. It can also look up to 30% brighter than unusual, and the darker rest of the sky is the brighter the moon may seem now. And this will be happen on December 6, 2052. It will be the closest and brightest supermoon in the entire 21st century. So in when I'm still coughing. So in 2016, the brightest comet. Comets are dusty remains of space objects that flew through the universe thousands of years ago, and there are thousands of them in our solar system alone. Every time a comet approaches, the sun heats up and begins to emit gases, and dawns start looking like a little star. Its head turns into a large fuzzy gas cloud, and thanks to solar wind, it also gets that beautiful long tail. So comet is like a ball that passes the sun, and then it gets the heat, and the solar system will have like kind of like a tail, a very long tail. So you can see it at October 17, 2026. So that wasn't all. I can't tell all. I haven't finished writing yet. So I can't tell all of that, but that was about like kind of like, I think it's a half of like 7 exactly things went on near the 200. I can see all of them because when 200, I am just 85 years old. But if I'm not that at the age earlier, so I could see them or not. So thank you for listening, guys. See you again. Bye bye.